Recently, the Palm Springs Kiwanis Club had another great speaker. Let's listen in.
You all are so inspirational. You really are. I mean, you're doing something for your community. You're doing something for the children in our community and the community at large, whether it's for their health, whether it's educational. You're giving of your time, and that says a tremendous amount. And on that level and so many others, we're exactly alike. I believe that service above self. I believe that we are meant to do things for our community, that we should not just stand there and be solo trees and expect to be given things. We have to help others. I mean, whether we were taught reading by our parents or by someone else, we learned, and we had to have those people reach out and touch us. And you're doing that, and that's extremely admirable. And I truly applaud you for that. And I've been very fortunate in my life in that I was born in a middle-class family in South Bend, Indiana, raised in Cincinnati. Our relatives lived on the farm in Indiana, and we'd go and we'd play in the corn cribs, and I learned how to drive on a tractor and had a lot of fun. Just a really good background. My parents, as we all love our folks, loveliest people on earth. They're in heaven right now, smiling down. And anyway, I was given unconditional love. I was told I could do anything I wanted to do in life if I believed in it. I also was taught character, that your character and your integrity mean more than anything else in the world. And that has served me well in going through our wonderful business of show business. Because there can be dangling carrots in front of your face. If you do this, then I will give you this part, or whatever. And that never happened because of the grassroots I was given. I was taught to be honest, sincere, and I certainly hope I'm recognized for that. But dedication to the community was something that I saw my mom do. I saw her out working in a sorority. She would go out and give of her time, as well as my dad would at work within his environment as well. So anyway, that's what's led me through the years to become philanthropic, as well as my husband, who, when I first met Dale, many of you may know him, he was on 17 charities. He was on the board of 17 charities at the time. His dad taught him, it's nice to be nice, and you must help others who cannot help themselves. So I've been involved in philanthropy for the past 30 years. Some of the most exciting times probably were in the formation of the Ophelia Project. Are you all familiar at all with the Ophelia Project? Patty Crone, who was the head of Palm Valley School, had given me a position, which I was so fortunate to become the Director of Development of Palm Valley. And we were working on, we're talking 18 years ago, 16 to 18 years ago, working on the fact that no bullying in school with girls and boys and whatnot. And there was a book that Mary Pfeiffer had written called Reviving Ophelia. The whole plot, and if you've read it, is that when young girls come into adolescence, things happen to them. They change. There's everything from cutting to drugs to alcohol to all kinds of problems that are onset, and bullying. Well, we formed this group called the Ophelia Project, and although I was only involved in it for a few years, we gave birth to it, but now over 2,500 girls have gone through the program, and those girls are now going to college, and they're making differences in everyone's life, which is what you're doing too. You never know who you've touched in your life that has grown them into the person that they are today. The inspiration that you gave them made them aspire to do something wonderful. Then also I was very involved with Women Leaders Forum, which is one other wonderful organization. And finally today I'm involved in Palm Springs Women in Film and Television. And as you said, I've been president on and off 4 times, so here you go. We're a group that, we're not a selfless group. Yes, we're glamorous, and I'll tell you a little bit about my past with working with some great people in a minute, but We do have glamorous events, but our mainstay is giving back to the community. Not only just mentoring our members and having programs and panels and seminars where we bring in people to talk about the state of our industry. And as we all know with digital media, I don't care who you are, you're on television, or so to speak, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're wherever you are, you're in front of the camera all the time. So our job is not, our group is no longer just film and television, because there is no such thing as the cutting room floor anymore. Where I ended up on the cutting room floor in an episode of Fantasy Island. That I did, I can tell you that. Why wasn't I on there? Your cutting room floor. I said, oh, great, you know? It doesn't happen anymore. You're just digitally edited out. But anyway, we encompass digital media as well. So a lot of the schools, as you know, I know you're very involved in Palm Springs High School, have got fabulous digital media programs, and these kids are creating unbelievable documentaries and just different films and whatnot. So we're very proud of the fact that we're helping fund some of these programs, not in a grand way, but in a small way. In addition, we have what's called our Book Pals program. And I don't know, maybe some of you would want to become readers. It's really an interesting thing. Once a week, we reach over 2,500 students in the Valley. Readers go out to the various grade schools and read to the children and read storybooks to them. Dr. Seuss Day, go in and read, Green Eggs and Ham, and different books, which is wonderful. So we reach over 2,500 students a week, so I'm very, very proud of that. We also have, we do give scholarships, as you do, to high school students who are college bound. It just varies as far as what is needed within the community. And we do have glamorous events. We have our Broken Glass Awards coming up this year. We've honored women who have broken through the glass ceiling, such as Mary Hart, Raquel Welsh. The list goes on and on and on. There's been about 40 women that we have given accolades to. So we're not just a group. We are a group that's reaching out in the community, such as yourself. You wanted me to touch upon the fact, and Jack mentioned it too, the fact that you're not alone in wanting to grow your group. It is very difficult to engage. It's hard to get people to come in and commit. And I don't get it. Why don't they want to come in and help out? Because it's helping out to grow the youth. But anyway, you're not alone, and maybe there is a way for all of us to do this. We're looking for ways to get other people in to replace us, because we can only be on the board for so long, and then you're very, very well intentioned. You want to do great, but you need new, fresh ideas. You need social media. You need fresh ideas. So you're not alone in that. So don't in any way, shape, or form feel badly about it. And if there's any way we can collaborate or whatever, I'd welcome that. If any of you would want to become readers, it's something you may want to explore. It's really fun, and it's very, very rewarding. It's very rewarding. Would you like to hear a little bit about my background? I don't know if you'd like to.
Yes.
Okay. I always wanted to be a movie star. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a movie star. I wanted to be a movie star. Would be songs would come. I'd come home from school and I'd get a perfume bottle and I'd sing into it. I'd be on stage, the whole thing. And it was. I always wanted to do that. And I was in a lot of plays and whatnot in high school, and then in college, I went to the Conservatory of Music in Cincinnati, at the University of Cincinnati. I was a musical theater major. And up on the bulletin board one day, there was a notice for that Dean Martin was looking for a new group of gold diggers. And they were auditioning all over the country. Okay, fine. Well, I didn't see the audition because my sorority sister had pulled it off the board, and didn't tell anyone else. Well, lo and behold, I went back to the sorority house that night, and she said, now, they're looking for girls like you, not like me. And I thought, well, I don't know what this is, but that's fine. So, but I felt like, you know what? I'm going to call and find out. So I called, and I found out there was an audition, not in Dayton, Ohio. Mind you, I lived in Cincinnati, and like Cincinnati is like from here to Banning. Banning to Dayton. Cincinnati, Dayton is like the same relationship as Palm Springs, Banning, okay? But the next audition that I could go to was in Boston. Now, that was a long ways away from Cincinnati. But my parents said, if you really want to do this, we'll fly you in. Now, I went to Boston, ended up being selected as one of the 12 finalists. I ended up having to, they said you're going to have to come to California for the final audition, but you're going to have to leave school, because if you're chosen, you're going to be on the show in 3 weeks. So I had to make that choice. I talked to my professors, I talked to everyone. So that's probably the only regret I have, but in hindsight, I'm glad I did, but not completing school is something that I wish I had in my back pocket. I've always wished I had that. But yet at the same time, I auditioned. 3 weeks from the time I auditioned, I was on stage at the sound stage with Les Brown, the band of renown. 50-piece band, Dean Martin, touring around. It was crazy. I mean, you talk about overnight. It was wild. Touring with Dean, Frank Sinatra, David Brenner, Joan Rivers. I mean, you name it. And you remember the Dean Martin roast.
Yeah.
We'd do the shows, which was so much fun. Dean was just a hoot and a half. He was the nicest man in the world. And he was not loaded. He was not. He just didn't ever rehearse. His whole shtick was to be natural, to be spontaneous. And so he wouldn't rehearse. We would have stand-ins rehearse with us during the week. And he would watch the rehearsal from his dressing room, the dress rehearsal from his dressing room, if there wasn't a football game on. So whenever you'd see Dean, he'd be going, and so we had big cue cards, camera 1, 2, 3, you'd see Dean, he'd be going, and I went over and I told him, okay. It's because it would say Dean camera 3, because he never rehearsrsed.
Oh my God.
And he never knew, he rehearsed the songs, but he never knew who was going to come out of that door. I don't know if you probably don't remember. There was a door that opened up, and there'd be somebody. And let me tell you, if Mr. Sinatra was the one that came out, you knew it was going to be a wild day, because they had more fun together. They really did. But I was just very blessed. I got to work did the tour with Frank and Dean, and was actually in Las Vegas when Frank reunited Dean with Jerry Lewis, which was quite a moment in time. So I had some really unbelievable experiences and really, really wonderful. Performed with Bob Hope, and probably one of my favorite things is I was asked to perform for President Reagan's second inauguration, and we did, one other girl and myself did the Ronnie Reagan rag with Rich Little. He would be impersonating all the presidents. It was crazy. It was fun. But so that was very, very exciting as well. But I ended up falling in love, marrying my husband Dale. We'd been married for over 30 years. Continued to do some television in LA, Charlie's Angels, Fantasy Island, a lot of different shows. Then had my daughter Gina, who's 30 now and is an attorney, so she's in Los Angeles. And we moved here. I had a few television shows, the Patti Gribbow show and Patti Gribbow's Roundtable. Was so fortunate to get interviews with people such as Dan Rather, Gloria Allred, some very incredible people among tremendous authors and actors and actresses. And all throughout, I've been involved in charities. Also then did a lot of digital media production, a lot of business infomercials, and of late I'm now in real estate. Who would ever think that you go from one to the other? But you know what? It's so gratifying. It's so gratifying and it's so exciting. And you said something so very true as a journalist yourself. The thing I find fascinating is that every single person has a story. Everybody's story is different. And there's something exciting in everyone's story. There's something exciting. And that's what I enjoyed most about interviewing people. And that's what I'm enjoying in real estate as well. Because I'm getting to know people and finding what their needs are, finding a solution, and how wonderful it is to either help them sell a property they need to sell to move on with their lives or find that dream home. But I just can't thank you enough for having me here today. So thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
For more, go to KIWANISPalmSprings.org.